Super mega large, Phil Pendlebury here, hope you're having a large day. So, on today's video I'm just going to have a quick look at the Hollywood Orchestrator from East West. Now you may be aware that East West have just released a new instrument called Opus, which basically takes over from the Play instrument. All the libraries still exist, but they've updated the Hollywood Orchestra libraries, which are now called the Hollywood Orchestra Opus Edition. The libraries are absolutely beautiful sounding and they've really been reworked, a lot of things added and a lot of improvements made. All the old libraries still work, but the Opus editions are the new improved versions. In this video I'm just going to specifically look at one thing, which is the Hollywood Orchestrator. Now, the Orchestrator is basically a quick way of putting together cues using the orchestra. It's very simple. There's lots of presets, but you can edit your own. So what I'm going to do is just play something, make a few quick edits, and you'll get an idea how it works. Now before we do carry on, just got to point out, people might say that this is too simple, but to me I don't entirely agree with that, because you've got to have a bit of a musical ear or a bit of musical ability, otherwise you're not going to end up playing notes that sound nice. And on top of that, I don't think anybody would ever just use the orchestrator on its own without some embellishments. But anyway, let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to spin round. I'm literally going to play something probably in the key of C, because it's easiest for me. I'm not a keyboard player inherently, I'm a guitar player. And let's just see what comes out, and then you'll get an idea of how it works. Okay, so I've got Cubase open, as I mentioned, and I've basically pulled up an orchestrator patch. It's based on one of the Elves World presets. So I'm just going to start recording. I've set the tempo down. So we'll do something. Yeah, okay. Something like that. Here we go. Let's go see what happens. Alright, that'll do. I mean, obviously not particularly inventive, but it'll do the job. Okay, so let's open that up and have a look what we've got. Just get that out of the way for the moment. So we're literally looking at just a bunch of very simple chords. I'm even going to quantize that actually, and we'll just play it a couple of times through. So totally quantized and everything, you know, dead on the beat, which wouldn't normally be, to be honest, but let's have a mess. So slightly behind, we'll just quickly, let's say -20, we'll just put a little bit of a negative delay on there so that the track comes back into time. with the click. We can easily get back to that, so I'm just going to quickly show you some of the other presets. Let's try Family Adventure. So what's giving that away as being a pre-made thing is possibly one of the little movements on the strings there, the top end strings. So we can go to the strings, we can have a look at which one is doing that. Nah, I'm not keen on that low note. Let's leave that out for now. And let's just take the delay off that I put on, because I think it might be interfering slightly with the timing. So that's Family Adventure. Let's have a look at Hollywood Action. And of course, all the articulations work. Sustain pedal doesn't work in this mode. So, should we go into how to edit the ostinatos and so on? I think it's quite simple. There's a little edit button. Let's not do this massive detail right now, okay? So, there's a little edit button here. You can see if we solo that low string staccatissimo, it's basically playing, and you can tell it which note to choose and what to play. So if we change that, let's go there, dun, 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 so we'll go up a step, and you'll hear the difference now. Yeah, so actually let's leave that like that and just play the whole thing again. So it's quite intuitive. Basically what it's doing is picking certain notes in the range that I've played with my 3 sausage fingers and my 1 bass finger, and choosing which one of those notes is going to be played on which instrument. I'm not going to go into detail on that now because this is my first video on this and I want to make it nice and quick. Right, so let's just have a quick look at, say, one more of these. Hollywood Fanfare sounds awesome. I could do with a little bit of work, but I think you get the idea. There's more of these as well, of course. There's ostinatos, which are just basically let's just play one. I won't play it with this project. I'll just play a couple of notes on my little mini keyboard here, and you'll see. Okay, so this is ostinato 16 notes. I'm just going to play one note. Now, again, you might say, well, isn't that cheating? But I really don't think it is. I mean, you could have that kind of rhythm in your head And you could spend a good hour or half an hour, or depending how fast you are, 5 minutes, building that up to sound realistic. So I'm quite impressed. So let's try 2 notes. You get the idea. And especially if you're working on a movie where you've got a passage where the music is way down in the mix, it's just a little bit of background. You get the idea, you get the idea. Okay, so I've loaded up the basic Elves World 1 patch, which is what I based my little patch on earlier on. Let's just have a quick listen to it in its raw form. It's actually nicer than mine was. I love those high woodwinds. So somewhere there it sounds like there's a harp. Let's just have a quick play of the harp part. Maybe we could add something else. What else have we got that might sound nice there? So we added a Celeste, and we'll tell it to pick the top notes. So we're just going to get a little tink. Yeah. So it's literally just picking the top notes and playing them on the Celesta. Right, okay, so that'll do for now. So we've got our little piece. Now what I would do is just literally move to my favourite patch at the moment, which is the solo French horn, and then just highlight the melody if I can remember what I played without pulling everything over. Very major, very nice, and very obvious, but hey. Not so keen on that note, but so, okay, the only thing that I would probably do now, we'll go back to this one, we'll go down to low strings. Alright, so I've just tweaked the bass a little bit, let's have a listen to that. And you know, you get the idea. Okay, so that could have been done in probably 5 minutes, to be honest. And a lot of you guys who are way more talented than I am when it comes to playing keyboards will have an idea of, you know, the musical structure and where things should and should not go. But I'm really impressed with that, to be honest. And of course that's just scratching the tip of the iceberg, as it were. There's a lot more that you can do. Alright, so that's all for now. Just going to play out, and we'll see you on the next one.